in the house this evening. I'm very excited to also speak to you about a topic that I'm very passionate about. Personal branding is very core to my being. Like, I'm an advocate for personal branding, and whenever I have an opportunity to share, I like to go all out and share very excellently. And so the topic before me this evening quickly is personal branding and self-preservation. Personal branding and self-preservation. 1 minute, I'm trying to make my slide bigger. Okay. Sorry, for some reason my slides are not moving. Okay. I wanted my slides to move so that everyone can see the slides as I share it. But it's fine. If it doesn't move, I can always share my slides with everyone after this presentation. So we'll just go right into it. What's going on? Okay. All right, let me just get right into it. So the topic before me this evening is personal branding and self-preservation. Empowering your career and your life through personal branding. Please, can we still hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay.
Yes, we can hear you.
So, so the next thing to ask ourselves this evening is, what is personal branding? What is personal branding? I want to find out, do we have any ideas? Does anybody want to say anything about what personal branding is? What's the concept of personal branding? What comes to your mind when you hear personal branding? Anybody wants to help us? Okay, let me continue from here. So when we say personal branding is really how you market yourself and your career as a brand. So for the likes of corporate brands that we know today, like Coca-Cola, MTN, any brand whatsoever, Access Bank, whatever it is, understand that all of those organizations are corporate brands. Now, the same way they market themselves, the same way they put like advertising budget on themselves, is the same way that we also are supposed to market ourselves as brand. So personal branding is how you market yourself, how you market your career. It's the way people perceive you in professional settings. And why does personal branding matter? It creates trust and credibility. So personal branding is how you promote yourself. It's a combination of your skills, your experience, and your personality that you want the world to see. So the same way all of those organizations have like a communications team or a marketing team that goes around to push the brand. What we are saying this evening is that the concept of personal branding is how you are also able to position yourself, is how you are able to position your skills, how you're able to position your expertise to the world so that opportunities can find you at the right time. That's the concept of personal branding. It is a narrative that you build around yourself. For example, if I mention some people's name now and I say that, what do you know them for? You will be able to say one or two things about them. If I mention Tony Elumelu now, for example, if I mention Tony Elumelu now to us and I say that, what do we have to say about Tony Elumelu? I know that we'll have one or two things to say about him. He's the UBA man. He's the man that always wears white and red. He constantly shows up in a very authentic way. So the concept of personal branding is how you promote yourself, how you promote your skills, your experience, and your personality that you want the world to see. And there's a very nice quote, a very popular quote about personal branding that I like to always talk about. It's from Jeff Bezos. Jeff Bezos says that your brand is what people say about you when you are not in the room. So what are people saying about you, about your profession, about your career, about your business when you are not in that room? That is your personal brand. So imagine maybe you are not in the room and somebody just asked to say that, you guys know Kemi, who is Kemi? And people are saying, oh, I think Kemi, she's very hardworking. I think Kemi is very diligent with her job. I think Kemi is a very reliable person. When you give her a task, she goes ahead to do it. Now, what those people are saying when Kemi is not there, that's Kemi's personal brand. That's her personal brand. And so it's very important that, and on the contrary, if maybe people say about Kemi is that, oh, well, I don't know, Kemi does not really know her job, Kemi is this, and maybe when Kemi hears what people are saying and she does not, and that's not who she is, it means that she has not been able to build her personal brand well. So if there's a way that you would want people to recognize you and recognize your skills, recognize your talents, that is really what your personal brand is about. It means what we are saying this evening is that you as a professional or you as a business owner, you have a responsibility to build your personal brand by yourself through intentional and consistent work that you'll be doing both online and offline, which we are going to be talking about today. Before we move on, we also want to say what personal branding is not. So we have been able to talk about what personal branding is. There is also what personal branding is not. Now, personal branding is not self-promotion. It's not about faking it till you make it. You know, we see a lot of things going on the internet today where people pretend to be what they are not. They now say they are faking it to make it. That is not the concept of personal branding. Right? Personal branding is not just about promoting yourself. It's not about maybe having a flashy website or maybe about buying 10,000 followers or 10,000 likes. It is not about being a false person or being inauthentic. Instead, it is about being an authentic person, representing who you are, what you do, and what you stand for, and the value that you can offer to others. It is about building credibility and building trust, coming in a genuine way. That's what we're talking about this evening. And so we can like to say, why do I even need to build my personal brand? Why is it important, right? When you build your personal brand, you open yourself up to a lot of career opportunities, both career opportunities and business opportunities, because people work with people that they know. And the world is a global village. So if you are building your personal brand, you are showing people what you can do. And then when opportunities come, they will be able to remember you because they have interacted with your personal brand, right? Imagine that there's someone on this call today that maybe is an excellent public speaker, for example, right? And anytime the person goes to speak in public, the person puts out content about what they did, maybe on LinkedIn and Instagram, and the person talks about public speaking, and the person puts pictures and videos of the work that they do consistently. Now, if somebody reaches out to me and say, there's an event happening in Aso Rock, and we need a very excellent public speaker. Can you recommend someone for us? You know, my mind will immediately go to the person that has been putting out what they do. I will now remember that, there is one sister, Oludolapo somewhere. She hosts events and she's a good public speaker. I see what she does. I will say you can reach out to her. But imagine if there is another somebody somewhere now that is also very good in public speaking. Maybe the person is even better than Oludolapo. But because the person is saying, I don't need to tell people about what I do. I don't need to put what I do on the internet. I don't need to connect with other people. How will that other person get opportunities and more avenues for growth? So we are saying that it's really important that you take conscious steps to build your personal brand so that you can continue to access more opportunities, right? And so when we talk about self-presentation, what does self-presentation really mean? And self-presentation is the concept of projecting yourself. How do you project yourself online and offline? A combination of your physical appearance, your communication, how do you communicate verbally and non-verbally, and how do you show up online, your online presence. And so there's a quote that says that you never get a second chance to make a first impression. And so it's very important that as professionals or as business owners, as the case may be, it's important that we are very conscious of how we present ourselves. Whether we are going to church, whether we are going to the office, whether we are just going down the streets. You never know who you can meet. Whether we are going for an Owambe or for a corporate event, it's very important how we present ourselves. And so that's it. The whole thing ties into personal branding. How you project yourself online and offline, the kind of comments that you leave on your Facebook, the kind of comment that you leave on your Instagram, how you communicate with people, how you appear, how you show up, how people perceive you. They are all important in building your personal brand. And so if you want to talk about the blueprints, you can now begin to wonder that I've been hearing this personal branding up and down. I've been hearing it. How do I even start building my own personal brand? What am I supposed to do right now, right? And so one of the things that you want to do is to ask yourself some questions. Because now, it's really the same thing. If, for example, you get a job and they say you should come and build a brand, maybe come and work with Coca-Cola as their brand manager or their marketing manager, you are going to be asking the people, the directors, some questions about the brand. That's for corporate brands. So for you to build your own personal brands, there are some questions you are going to be asking yourself. It will help you to know yourself and to understand the positioning. So some questions to consider include, you ask yourself, what do I want to be known for? Do you want to be known for excellence? Do you want to be known as the best public speaker in Africa? Do you want to be known as the best accountant in Nigeria? Do you want to be known for someone that is energetic, someone that is reliable, someone that you can bank on them? You have to first figure out, what do you want to be known for? You think about that and you write that down. We're talking about how to define your personal brand, how to get started, like a blueprint. You will now ask again, who is your target audience? So by target audience, we are saying, who needs to know about you? Who are those that need to know about what you are doing for you to access more opportunities and growth? Those are your target audience. Your target audience could be directors, it could be C-suite executives, it could be parents, it could be anyone. And the general public cannot be your target audience. Everybody is not your target audience. So when you are building your personal brand, you need to be clear on who you are trying to communicate with. And so that's what's going to shape the kind of messages you want to put out there and the tone that you want to communicate. You also want to ask yourself, what are your short-term and your long-term goals? At the beginning of this year, I sat down, after I had created the marketing strategy for the company that I worked for, and I created the marketing strategy for my consulting company. I now also created the marketing strategy for myself. So I named it Marketing Strategy for Omotoyosi 2024. And I put down what I wanted to do personally. So that's my personal brand. So what we are saying this evening is that if you are working at XYZ company and you are going every day and they are paying you a salary, you are just going there to be helping them to be building their own business. So God forbid, if the company crumbles today, you will now start again looking for another job. What we are saying today is that as you are building for XYZ company, you as an individual, you as Kendi Adeoti, you as Titilayo Azan, you as Isaac Olanrewaju, you are a brand by yourself. You yourself, you are a company. So you should start thinking of yourself as a brand, and you should start building yourself as a brand. So that if anything happens, because you have built yourself as a brand, which nobody can take away from you, you can now begin to ride on the wings of the perception that you have carved for yourself, and it begins to open more doors for you. That's what we are saying. So you ask yourself, what are your short-term goals? What are your long-term goals? Your short-term goals may be, if you're a public speaker, it may be to secure maybe 5 speaking jobs on an international level before the end of the year. It could be to launch a course to help other people to understand public speaking. It could be anything around what you love to do. So you have to write it. If the Bible says that, write the vision, make it plain so that you can run with it. And that's one mistake we make as professionals and as business owners. And it's good that we're having discussions like this towards the end of the year. 2 days ago, I sat down and I created the marketing strategy for my own self as well for next year. So as we are looking into entering next year, you don't want to wait till January 2025 to start thinking about what you want to do for yourself. Your company, they are thinking about what they want to do for themselves. Even if you run a business, you create a marketing strategy for your business. You create another marketing strategy for yourself as an individual. You don't need to just wake up and take life as it comes. People that are great, they don't just wake up and do whatever they like, however the spirit directs them. No, you need to sit down, open your laptop in your front, open a new slide, maybe on Google Doc or PowerPoint, and title it Personal Branding or Marketing Strategy for Abiodun Adewale 2025. Marketing Strategy for Chika Maduka 2025. Personal Branding for Oludolapo Adewale 2025. You will now start taking it one after the other. In the first quarter of 2025, what do I want to achieve as Oludolapo Adewale, separate from the company? What are those skills and talents that I have? How can I make more money from my skills and talents? Who needs to know about me so that they can now give me good jobs? Now, how do I begin to attract those people so that they can see me and give me good opportunities? This is the concept of personal branding. You will now look into yourself. What are the good things that you have done in the past? What are the great projects that you have executed in the past? Have you told people about them? That's a question to ponder on. How do I show up online? If I begin to take a poll now and I say that, how many of us are active on at least one social media platform? And that's what I say. Another take home is to say, what social media platforms do I need to be on and be consistent on? You don't need to be on all the social media platforms. We have Instagram, we have Facebook, we have LinkedIn, we have Twitter, we have TikTok. You can pick just one. You can start with just one to say that I pick LinkedIn, and you'll be showing up on LinkedIn on a consistent basis, at least 2 times in a week. You will put information about what you do, tell a backstory, talk about the project you worked about in your office, talk about what your colleagues are doing or what makes you different. Just talk about it. And it's not only online that you can build your personal brand. You can go for a podcast. You can reach out to those who have podcasts and be a speaker. You can go to radio stations and have like a 15-minute talk on radio. You can go to the newspapers and do a feature article on Guardian or on Business Day. Talk about the things that matter to you. That's what we're talking about this evening. Right? So the personal branding blueprint, say, what do you want to do? What are your guiding principles? What are your strengths and your skills? What makes you unique? This is the exact way that multinationals also build their corporate brands. And so we are saying, because you also are a personal brand, you have to craft your own like that. And so building your digital footprint is very important for personal branding and self-presentation. How do you build your digital footprint? Key platforms for building your footprint. We've talked about LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter. You can also use Medium. Medium is like a blog. You can open a blog and be writing articles about what you do and be positioning yourself as a thought leader. You know the importance of building your digital footprint. When the opportunity comes and somebody mentions your name in a powerful room, and then the people that matter now say, let's go and check. Who is Isaac Olariwaju? Let's go and Google Isaac Olariwaju online. Whatever Google brings out about you, that's what those ones we use to judge you. That's what we're talking about this evening. If you know that you are doing excellent work and you are not putting some of it out there on a consistent basis, you are only doing yourself a disfavor. Nothing we can do about your matter. Because even the Bible says that you do not light a candle and put it under a bushel, that you are the light of the world. And what does light do? Light has to shine. So my message to you, my sisters and brothers this evening, is that enough of hiding under the table. Personal branding is not that you are proud, though. It's not that you are proud. If the people that are in the world, they understand the concept of personal branding and they are using it to get more opportunities, how much more we that we are children of God? What we're saying this evening is that you don't have to wait for opportunities to come. You'll not be running out of scatter because you don't know when the opportunities will come. One of the best quotes that I like to abide with is the one by Winston Churchill. He says that to everyone, they are given a time to do a thing that is special to them and unique to their talents. He now says that what a great tragedy if that moment finds them unprepared or unqualified for that which could have been their finest hour. What we are saying is that you need to build your digital footprint. If people are checking your name out on the internet, what will they say about you? What have you put on Google? Do you have a Google My Business page for yourself? Do you have a LinkedIn page? Are you putting out articles about the work that you do on LinkedIn? Do you do any blog? Do you go for any presentations anywhere? If you have not been doing all of that, you need to create a strategy to start doing that so that when the opportunities come, they will meet you prepared. Have a portfolio of your work. You can use Google or Canva to create a portfolio of your work that you do so that when clients say, share your portfolio, you have something to share. You don't begin to run up and down. I'm talking about self-presentation. When you want to engage in self-presentation online, what are some of the things that you can do? You have to keep your profiles consistent across all platforms. If you're on Instagram and LinkedIn, for example, whatever you say you do on Instagram, be consistent about that on LinkedIn as well. Use high-quality pictures of yourself. Take a very good professional picture and use it online. Share the content that reflects your values and expertise. Positioning yourself online, self-presentation, how you want people to talk about you when you are not in the room. You need to start showing up that way online. You cannot be saying something physically and be demonstrating something else online. If you want people to perceive you as someone that is excellent, someone that is reliable, someone that is a global shaker and mover, also let that reflect in the type of content you put out online and how you relate with people. And then when it comes to self-presentation, some things that you don't want to do, avoid controversial content. Don't be the person that is known for controversy. If people are arguing about politics, insulting whoever, don't be in the middle of that because you don't know the opportunities that are coming. If you have gone to insult the president of your country and there's a national appointments coming, when they check you online and they see all of that discussions, it shows as a red flag. So don't be in the middle of controversial content. Don't be in the middle of unprofessional content. If people are promoting things that are not professional, because you know that you are building your personal brand, you don't join them in all of that. Don't overshare your personal information. we're talking about personal branding and self-presentation and how you appear online. It does not now mean that you are putting details of your personal life online. That's not what we are talking about. There's a place for moderation, and we're not saying, because there's a lot happening online now. You also have to be security conscious, so you need to be careful about what you share online. And we're not saying you should share your personal details. We're only saying that the work that you do, the business that you do, the excellent things that you do, just help people to understand it and to know you for that, so that when opportunities arises, they can come to you. You also need to be able to create your elevator pitch. Your elevator pitch is very important to your personal branding and to your self-presentation. You could be at an event or even an Owambe, and you meet the director of Nigerian breweries, for example, or one very big multinational, and the person say, "Oh, excellent, it's good to meet you, Chika. Tell me what you do." And people like that, they don't have a lot of time. Oh, in 3 minutes, you need to be able to tell the people that matter what you do. That is your elevator pitch. And it's not when they now ask you at that Owambe, you are now running up and down, figuring out what you do. That's already a red flag. So the concept of personal branding and self-presentation is that you need to already have all of this together. Now, what is an elevator pitch? It is a brief and compelling statement. It explains who you are, what you do, and why it matters. Who you are, what you do, and why it matters. So an assignment for us this evening before we sleep: craft your elevator pitch, very brief and short. If I give you my own elevator pitch, for example, now, I am a marketing consultant specializing in helping small businesses to grow their online presence. Or I'm a personal branding coach. I specialize in working with executives and professionals to grow their online presence. I help them to reach new customers through targeted campaigns and data-driven strategies. So your elevator speech must briefly explain who you are, what you do, why it matters. You should be able to know that off the top of your head, so that if you are somewhere and someone asks you, you will be able to immediately talk about it. And right there and then, the person can determine if they want to give you a business or an opportunity or not. But if they ask you, "Tell me who you are," and you are stuttering, you are saying different things at the same time, nobody will take you serious. When it comes to personal branding and self-presentation, your dressing and your appearance matters. Why does your appearance matter? Because your physical appearance is the first impression people will get about you. So you need to dress in a way that aligns with your personal brand. That's why when you see the likes of Tony Elumelu, you know that red and white is his color. There's other people in society today, they've associated a particular dressing with their personal brand. When you see their picture, you already know that, yes, they are consistent. You don't have to, it's not compulsory you pick a color and be saying, "My color will be black," or "My color will be white." If you want, you can do, but it's not compulsory. But what we are saying is that if you want people to take you serious, you also have to take yourself serious. If you want to communicate that you're a professional, you must always be able to dress like a professional wherever you are, and always look the way that you want to be addressed. Your outfit, let it be appropriate to your industry. If they invite you somewhere, understand the type of event and show up appropriately. Because when you appear well, it also builds your confidence. Right? Your communication skills is also very important. You have to be able to speak clearly and speak with confidence. Avoid filler words such as like, or you know. You need to be able to speak with confidence, both in your emails, in your social media content. Effective communication strengthens your personal brand because it makes your message to be clear and easily understood. When it comes to personal branding as well, we are rounding up now. Managing feedback and perception is very important. Your personal brand is not just the way you see yourself, it's also how others see you. We have said that one of the important quotes about personal branding is what people say about you when you are not in the room is very important. So you can't just be saying that this is how I see myself. I'm excellent, I'm driven, I'm reliable. People need to also be able to say the same things about you. And the only way they can say those things about you is if you have demonstrated those things consistently. So personal branding is not magic. You are the one that will start using your hands, your behavior, the way you show up, consistently show up, so that when you do those things on a consistent basis, after a while, people can now be talking about you in that way. You are not the one that will go and tell people that I'm excellent, I love to do this, I'm reliable. You are not the one that will talk. People need to figure it when they see the way you behave. They now talk about you in that light. It's also important to get feedback. If you start to build your personal brand or you are doing something online, get feedback on a regular basis from your colleagues, from your mentors, from your peers, so that you can understand how they perceive you. Ask people, what do they think about you? What do they think about the work that you do? So that you can work on the feedback. And so you can also adjust and improve on areas where necessary. And so consistency is also a very crucial part of personal branding. You need to be consistent. If you say you want to start putting out content on a blog or on Instagram or wherever, you can't just do it for this week and disappear and come back next month. It's not going to give you the kind of results that you want. Consistency is very important. You have to be true to your values. Don't compromise on your authenticity. Know what you want and stick with it. Not that you will see somebody doing something else tomorrow. You will not be jumping up and down. No. You also have to be authentic. You have to be authentic. People are drawn to those who are genuine, those who are transparent and true to themselves. People can see through you. If you are pretending, people will see it. But you just have to show up in the right version of yourself. That's authenticity. Conclusion and takeaway. Personal branding is essential for career and business success. Whether it's business you do, or you are in a 9-to-5, or you are building a career, personal branding is essential to your success. So you need to start building your personal brand. Self-presentation is how you shape and you project your brand to the world. Consistency and authenticity and feedback, they are key to maintaining a strong personal brand. My final thought for you today is your personal brand is what others say about you when you are not in the room. Make it count. Make it count. Thank you very much. That brings us to the end of our presentation for today. I'll be taking questions and feedback.
Thank you so much, Omotoyosi. Thank you so much. It was an insightful time. I'm sure everybody here, we have learned one or two things, whether you're a business owner, whether you are a career person. It's been an insightful time, especially for myself. Yeah. So if we have questions, I'd like to just see your hands up. So I'll be able to call you. You have questions, you have something you want to, like, just questions, feedback. You have a business and you're looking at, okay, how do I build my brand as regards this? Let me see your hands up. I can see Bro Biodun's hands. I can see only one person. If you have questions, please. Once I take the questions, I won't give you opportunity again. So please, if you have questions, let's quickly ask now. Let me see your hands up so I can call you, okay? Roberto, please, you can ask your questions, sir.
Okay, good evening, everyone, and thank you, Toyosi, for the session. I think for me, it's been very insightful. So my question is, you talked about digital footprint. So if, as of today, I'm hoping to build my brand, but I have some harmful footprint that I've created on the internet. Maybe I've said some things about the president or even important people. Have delved into some topics that I shouldn't have. How do I redeem myself within the digital space so as not to harm my personal brand going forward? That's my question.
Okay, thank you very much. There are two ways you can do that. If you go online, there are different tools that you can use to remove information online. Now, you have a lot of options. Number one, if it's a lot, you can decide to deactivate and delete that account totally and start afresh. That's number one. That's if you cannot delete the information. If it's a post or a comment, for example, you can go through them and start deleting them manually on your own. If they are on certain blogs or websites, you can reach out to those websites. I mean, that's part of what we do in PR. You can reach out to those who publish the blog and ask them to please take down whatever it is from their blog or their website, right? Then you can also intentionally start showing up, creating articles, having programs that would now override whatever has been online. So if you now start showing up and creating new digital footprints in line with what you now want, those ones will cover up the old things that have been going. So it's even very important that as you start to build your personal brand, you do an audit, a personal brand audit of yourself. That's you search across the internet to know everywhere that your name shows, so that you can see it for yourself. And when you see something you don't like, you can either delete, reach out to the websites to remove it, or delete a particular account entirely, or check the internet for some tools that Google has provided that you can also use. You can now begin to put out information, content, thought leadership that would override, because by the time there's more information about you, the old ones will just keep going down and they will not show up when people are now looking for you. But you can also delete them totally as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. I hope that answers the question, sir.
Yes, please, it does. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Brodipo, I see your hand. Please ask your question.
All right. Thank you very much. Um, Hi, good evening, everyone. So my question is this. Thank you so much for the topic for the talk. It's been really insightful. So for me, as a professional, like you mentioned earlier, that even as you're working for your company for the business, you should also see yourself as a business and also be able to um, brand yourself also. So, as a professional that works in the corporate space, thinking about how I can brand myself. But then one of the things that keeps me back is being consistent with it. So I feel like if I start, I might not be able to be consistent with the personal branding aspects. And in some way, it also feels like it needs a lot of work. So my question is this: are there ways or strategies in which someone can, who doesn't have um, time, let me put it in quotes, time, or the necessary expertise in order for them to be able to brand themselves the way they want to? Are there ways that can make it easy for them to be able to do it?
Okay, thank you for your question, Dipo. So, I mean, nothing good comes easy. That's number one. And knowing that building your personal brand opens you to a lot of opportunities and growth. It's like an investment for the long term, even for the short term. So this should really be your motivating factor to say, if you say that you are so busy and you don't have time, if your company decides to say they no longer need your services today, what are you going to fall back on? So these are the things that should help you to strike a balance to start building. And when we say you start building your personal brand, is to say you are taking little steps in the right direction. So, for example, you can decide to say, I will start with only LinkedIn. If you've not been active on LinkedIn, for example, LinkedIn is a way you can start. You can say, I will post content on LinkedIn every Monday and Wednesdays. You can decide that that's the only thing you will do for your personal brand for Q1, maybe Q1 next year. Now you put it on your reminder. So what can also happen is that on a Saturday like this, when you know that you are supposed to be posting twice in a week, on a Saturday or Sunday, work on the content that you want to post on Monday and Wednesday. Don't wait till Monday and Wednesday. Ask yourself, what has happened in my corporate space? What events did I go for? What did my boss say about me? That project that I worked on that was a success. That's what you need to be saying on LinkedIn. So just create 2 or 3 paragraphs with maybe 1 picture or 2 pictures. Keep it somewhere that on Monday, when it's 12:30, I will talk about this project, how it was successful, and my role. That's all. And then set your alarm on your phone, maybe during your break. Quickly go to LinkedIn and post it and leave it alone. On Wednesday again, set another alarm. During your break, go and post. You have posted for 1 week already. The next weekend again, create 2 batch of content. If you are in the accounting space or fintech, what are the regulations going on in accounting? Create a short content on it. How can people be better accountants? Create a short content on it. Put on your reminder again. That's how you begin to do it, knowing fully well that you are doing it for yourself. And it's the one they are doing for yourself that it should even be more important. The fact that the money is not coming now does not mean it will not translate to good money and opportunities. Because if you don't start now, you will still need to start tomorrow. And nobody guarantees that you will ever have enough time. There is never enough time. But those who are doing it also have the same 24 hours that we do. And by the time you start, you cannot be able to keep building up on it. It keeps building up, you keep getting better and stronger, and you keep doing more. And then when the rewards now come, you'll be happy that you even started. So that's it. We start small. Nobody is saying you should do a lot. Just pick one platform and start on a very small basis and just keep building up consistently.
Yeah, thank you
Thank
for your
you.
response.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Do we have any other questions? Do we have any other person that want to ask a question? I don't think I can see anybody's hands. Okay, in the absence of none, I'd just like to say thank you to you once again for this insightful session. I've been challenged again to pick up where I stopped and then start. People was saying that if there is no time, if they say 7 a.m. every Monday and every Wednesday, I want to give 500,000 naira just to post on your Instagram or LinkedIn. Sure, you will not post. You say you don't have time. So I think if we see the value for something, I think we'll create time for it. So tonight, I would just reiterate some of the things that were said and the action points for us as we go tonight. We're told to go and draft our elevations pitch speech. So elevator pitch speech. So in a time, I would like every one of us to please do it for our own selves, because when opportunities come, it will be good to meet us prepared. So it's good to always recite it yourself that, okay, the person I've been wanting to meet all my life, if I have the opportunity to meet him or her, and I'm giving just 5 minutes to speak, what am I going to say? So it's good to have that speech already and always rehearse it. Secondly, is that we need to have a brand. We have to make ourselves a brand, have a brand strategy for yourself next year. Equal Q1, Q2, Q3. What do I want to do? What do I want to be known for? If we don't have that as a person, as for our businesses as well. The third one is that people that are business owners, I will also encourage you to please Google my business. Oh yeah, I think that's it. I think last month I was supposed to send I think bag of rice to somebody in Abuja, and I was really thinking about it. How do I send it? How do I send it? Like my vendor there, I wasn't picking up. I just Googled rice sellers in Abuja, and Google My Business brought out a lot of them, and it was that vendor I eventually used, and I've been consistently using the person. I've never met him, I've never seen him before, but because he put his business, rice seller, put his business online, and I was able to, patronize his business and I could verify that it was a good one because I saw a lot of reviews. So I beg us, please, let's not just listen and come and go like that. If there's nothing you are taking from, if there's anything you are taking from here, is that at the end of this particular session, you have your elevator speech, you are going to put your business on Google My Business. You are going to put it. And you're going to ask your clients that have patronized you before to please drop reviews, because these are the things people will see and they'll be able to patronize you. Thirdly is that we need to be consistent at what we do. Are you a business owner? Are you a career person? Always try to show up. Try to show, because you never can say, there was a guy on LinkedIn that's Tony Lumelu. I think he kept on talking about him. I can't remember his name now. And there was a day, I think there was a time his post just caught Tony Lumelu's attention. And several doors have opened for that guy. I can't remember his name now, but now he has gone out of the country. He has been to several places. And what happened was just because he was just consistently doing what he knew how to do. So I encourage every one of us today that when opportunities come, we are not met unprepared. God will help us in Jesus. The Bible says, yes, a man that is diligent in his work, he will stand before kings and not men. Even the scripture tells us that we should be diligent in our work. So please, let's be consistent, let's be diligent, let's give our attention to building ourselves. When you are out of a place, what do people think about you? When you're not in a place, what would they say about you? Let's also remember that for every time we are here for a time, and the time is transient, we will go one day. So when you go, what do you want people to remember you for? How do you want to be remembered? It's not just about the spiritual, but in your career, what do you want to be remembered for? I pray God helps us in Jesus' name. I would like to just give us one challenge tonight, and I want to see how we know our people in our Nigeria. There's a particular woman. She's a woman, but one of her trademark is that she's always on blonde braid. She's a woman. She's not every time, but one of the things she used to know is that she's always making blonde braid. Her braid is always blonde. That's one. Second person is, there's a man that's always wearing white and red cap. If you know it, I have a gift for you tonight. The woman and the man is always wearing white and red cap. The name of his brand is affiliated to what he wears. So do I have anybody that knows it on the chat? There's a particular woman. She's like one of the topmost women that is known for a particular career that is not very, very common for women. She's usually on blonde braids. Like if you Google the internet, what you see is blonde braid. That's like a trademark. There's another man that's always wearing white, agbada or something, and a red cap. Do I have anybody that knows it on the chat box before I hand over to the secretariat? I can see whose hand is this that is up. Brovion's hand is up. I won't come back. Sister Mida, who can you tell me the names of those people? Sister Mida, please unmute your mic.
I was going to mention the man, the lady. I'm not too sure, but the man, I think I'm a bit sure. So the man, is it Debola Lagos? Yes, Debola Lagos. Debola is always on.
Correct.
White.
He's the founder of. Yeah, you're correct. It's because the name of one of the companies he founded is Red Media, Red for Africa. So it's one of the ways he projects his brand. So he's always wearing white and red. So Red for Africa. The other woman, so tell me that what you a gift. So let's not waste our time. The other woman is Jumoke Adinowo. She's an architect. If you just check the internet, you see that this head is always red. She has a signature hairstyle. So this is just one of the ways to when they mention certain things, this thing is for Kemi, this is for Oyinda, this is for Robiodun. I pray God helps us in Jesus' name. So let me give you to Secretariat for the announcement and the closing prayer. Thank you.